This is your final exam study guide for American government. Quickly just going over the main concepts that you'll find on the exam. Um, Again, the first government wasn't the U.S. Constitution, it was the Articles of Confederation. And when they then tried to change governments, they created the U.S. Constitution. And one of the things that they had was kind of the first political parties were created, the Federalists who wanted the Constitution as it was, and the Anti-Federalists who didn't because they wanted a Bill of Rights, so personal liberties and rights protected. So they added those first 10 amendments. The branch of government that the first government did create was a legislative branch, making the laws. But in the Articles of Confederation, they couldn't tax, so they couldn't have any money. They had no judicial branch. They didn't have a national army. They had a bunch of local militias that they had to rely on. The date that the Declaration of Independence was adopted was July 4th, 1776. The Constitutional Convention, which was meant to fix the Articles of Confederation and created the U.S. Constitution, was in Philadelphia. A couple of concepts here. Federalism, it divides the power between national and state governments. They sometimes share power, but also they have different and separate powers. Supremacy clause is found in the Constitution, meaning that it is the supreme law of the land. It establishes the Constitution as the most important or highest law in the land. The Preamble is the beginning or the introduction of the Constitution. A couple things from Unit 2 then. Political behaviors. Interest group is an organization meant to persuade, and there's lobbyists there. Persuade individuals, mostly members of Congress, to make laws, rules, regulations based on their interest. Again, an interest group is a group that is specifically organized for one issue or a smaller issue, not all the issues in the United States. A political party, an organization of people which seeks to achieve goals common to its members, so they're representing people and gaining political power and interested in winning all those elections and holding political office and controlling the government. A peer group is those who you associate with on a regular basis. We talked about political socialization, so that's that process of developing your ideas. Again, number one factor of political socialization is your family. Requirements to be able to vote in the United States: 18 years old, being a resident of the state, U.S. citizen, you must register. When you're voting, you could straight ticket vote, meaning you're voting for just the political party and that's it. The terms and requirements of a U.S. representative: 2 years, 25 years old, citizen for 7 years, and you have to live in that state. The requirements for a senator then are you have 6-year terms, but they have to be 30, live in the U.S. for 7 or 9 years, and live in that state. Main job of the legislative branch: make laws. Executive branch: enforce laws. Judicial branch: to interpret the law. The Electoral College is the way that we elect the president, and why it was created is because the founding fathers didn't really trust the average individual, and it's that system set up counting individuals from each state based on population for the House of Reps. So you have at least one House of Rep, plus you have at least 2 senators, so each state gets at least 3 electoral votes. What is the general election? It's every 4 years is this election that the president is elected in. Supreme Court justices serve life terms. How many years can a president serve? So this is kind of a trick question, but they can serve 4-year. They serve 4-year terms. You can serve a total of 2 terms. You can be elected president twice, but the total number of years could be 10. You could fall into the presidency as a vice president of some sort. The terms and requirements of a president: again, 35 years old, you have to be born in the United States, natural born citizen, and resident in the United States for 14. You have to actually live in the United States for at least 14 years. How long does a U.S. senator serve for one term? It's 6 years. What are 3 reasons why people don't vote? It's too busy. They're not interested. They don't register. Again, day voting is tough. What does it mean to be liberal, conservative, liberal, left? You can be progressive. You like change, larger role in the government and social programs. Conservative means you're on the right. Traditional, smaller government role, more relying on the individual. So political parties that are associated with that: Republicans, conservative; Democrats are liberal. Some more liberal and Democrat beliefs, specifics. Liberals like higher taxes before those social programs, pro-choice, stricter gun laws, freer low-cost government health care, and death penalty abolished versus the conservatives, lower taxes, pro-life, protect the Second Amendment, free market health care, death penalty if it fits the crime. Last couple things, political machine, didn't talk about this too much, but it's a political group in which authoritative boss or small group commands the support of a core of supporters and businesses who receive rewards. So it's a leader at the top who has a lot of control over the system, and a lot of people work under that person and respect their decisions and follow their guidelines. First Amendment, freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly. Fourth Amendment protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. Fifth Amendment talks about the due process, so making all those rights when possibly you're arrested. Double jeopardy, can't be charged with a crime twice. You don't have to speak out against yourself or self-incrimination, testify, protects your rights to life, liberty, and property. The Sixth Amendment, you get all those rights in a criminal case, so speedy, a jury, you confront witnesses, and you have the assistance of a lawyer. What does it mean that the Supreme Court creates informal amendments? And last thing here, how do they create laws? So the Supreme Court will make a decision on an important topic, and the government then has to follow that as if it was an actual law.